check, radio check. Our work is in the to the stream. Glad you can join us today. Round of Motorsport Manager Season 2024. Um, we did get a good start from the last time we streamed this, getting second and getting second and fourth spots in industries thanks to a couple of engine problems with the other teams. And we're currently going to do some more stages today in the hopes that we continue our streak and probably get more money to invest in some of our buildings. As you might see, the current balance of our funds is down to 12 million. It's because right before the stream I invested in upgrading the design center so that we can get going on upgrading, or rather building up the road car factory rather, in a couple of seasons. Although based on notes in the guides, it's apparently a really expensive investment, so we need to make the most out of this upgrade for the design center so we can get more money by the end of the season and probably get better income via bonus sponsorships. The likes of these setups here, I don't think that's going to be easy. Let's see, we've already checked out all of the mail from the last run. We're still 5 days and 9 hours out from the front wing. Gonna have to get an engine up soon as well. Currently fourth in engine speed. We're the best at low speed corners, and overall we are the second best in cars. Now, thanks to the fact that 4 of these parts are stock parts, we've got enough money to at least invest in upgrading our parts to possibly at least, shall we say, great till the end of the season, and then we'll build up to legal parts midway through. For the time being, though, we're going to be a bit more frugal after upgrading, maybe. We'll have to see if anything shows up. Ooh, car repair's done. Perfect. Let's see, scouting report. Shino-san. See, Assumption Ario Leonet. Low quality, but she has a decent amount of potential, which should help us see some improvement in her skills. She's really strong, so that's going to be reliable and durable even for accidents. But she has braking issues, which is going to be a problem because most of the tracks in the game, or at least in the series, have a lot of turns. Too bad she doesn't have any driver traits to help her out there. It's going to be fun anyway. Anything else on the scout list? Everybody else is in the queue, so no need to worry about that. Pairs are finished, so we can finish they can focus on improving parts. 4 days away from a new set, though. Okay, reliability is going to be a build-up. All of the spec parts are currently reliable, so no need to worry about them for now. Let's see what else is up. Done. There we go. Let's see what the scouting report has to say. Nicola Gullias would be one of the weakest drivers within the racing series, but he has a huge potential, and given the chance to improve, he can be one of the best drivers. He's excellent at braking, which would be helpful for the corners in the next few steps, but he struggles with his fitness, which means he could get sick more easily, and he could have some issues with stamina. Now let's see his stats. He's only on a temporary boost. He's great at braking. Cornering, not so much, but he's pretty smooth. He's adaptable, mostly. That's going to be reduced once the racing snowmobile effect drops off. He's got some good potential, though. He can jump into a 4.1, I suppose. Or is it 4.2? Problem is, he's awful. Fitness, he can't really focus much, and his feedback isn't really going to help us at all. So I don't think we're going to hire him. Front wing is good. I think we can focus on getting a better engine now. Liability, right. Alright, let's go with that for now. Money is going out really quickly. Boss isn't gonna be too happy. Who would like this? Oh, it will soothe the new parts, but he's gonna need some upgrades for that soon, because the reliability is down 55%. Gonna have to switch that. Place this. Oh, dang it! Okay, so reliability. Everything else seems to be okay for now. Wait, no. The engine parts have reliability issues still. Let's focus on that. Performance-wise, we're still pretty much okay. I think we can work with it. Let's see who else is on the scouting brink. Look like there's anybody else that we can get through. Anybody else has already been signed up by the bigger races. That scared the heck out of me. What's next on the races then? Let's move ahead, see how far it goes. I do want to finally get a chance to drive in the Japanese courses, but I don't think we're going to be able to get that soon. Okay, let's see what we've got for Munich. 29 laps, again, because this is an early race, we're going to be doing two-stop run for this. Probably going to do the same 10-20, maybe 11-21 if we're lucky. Plenty of low-speed corners. We're the best with front wings for now. The other teams will be expecting us to perform well this weekend for sure. This is the first time I've seen this on the news. Looks like we're moving up in the world at least. Tire compounds are soft and medium. Fairly good track for tire wear, and our car is pretty excellent at that, so we should be able to make the tire last. Sounds like good news, but I feel like we're gonna have some trouble still. Okay, what's the feedback? Yeah, our car's average. We're doing that right now with Vasu. Don't worry about it. Let's see what's on the news. Bruna, rather, so it's girl. One of the weakest drivers, are potentially good though, and given a chance to improve, she should certainly become one of the better drivers in the championship. She's gonna be a mid ranker at least. Good at cornering, but she has trouble overtaking, which means she can't really take advantage of corners for overtaking there. Where was that? Let's see that news again. The name is Bruna Bueno Zardo. She's smart. What he's saying proves nothing. Good for adaptability and feedback, but unfortunately she's already driving for Lancaster Performance, so we can't really do much with her. Lancaster is an endurance race team, and I don't think she's gonna move out unless her morale drops from this one. Oh, she's just signed up with Lancaster. She's not good in the lawn. 5 days for that engine to show up. I don't think we'll be able to use it for this leg, though. Okay, let's see what happens. What happened in WMC? Lipinen once again showing his stuff, jumping up first. 2 seconds ahead of his classic rival Parisi. And Zach Hamilton from Windsor Racing managed to snatch third, despite the fact that he's suffering from dodgy neck. Nonetheless, Tanakuchi from Steinman is still on top with 10 points, just ahead of Lavoie for Panther Racing and Parisi. Lipinen, though, with this win, gets back in the championship running, and he's jumped up to 4th with his 8 points in tow. Can probably assume that Tanakuchi is well down in the standings for this one. But that's still a good sign for Steinman, as they have both of their drivers in the top 5 now. Cini, not too much. Billy White is down here on the 11th. Still no points after 2 rounds in the championship. But we see some changes after that. After the next leg. How many more days do we have? It says 4th April. What day is it? Oh no. Next race is in 3. The new engine won't be available in 5. For improvements, not too good. It's gonna take a while for everything to. Oh, it says 3 days before race, so the improvements should be done in a couple. And there's the boss. Alright. Pre-race gossip in Munich. Esteva has been tipped to be the driver to beat, as is the usual. Looking great this weekend. I may have lost most of my fortune to my third ex-wife, but if I had any money left, I'd bet it on her. That's a bit of an indictment of previous WMC drivers. Then, Gansler is still looking to add to his trophy cabinet here in Munich. On the chances of him continuing his form, the 20-year-old told his fans back home to take all of their money and put it on me. I'm a shoo-in. Oh no, Archer BMR is struggling this season. As the circuit offers them a chance to pick up some valuable points, this raises a great chance for us to improve, say Tianuna. It's our standings. We are currently in the lead, but it is a razor-thin 1-point difference, and there's a good chance Silver Racing will snatch it from us quite easily. Surprising to see Archer down at the bottom, though. That last run was a bit of a heartbreaker for both Archer drivers, mostly because of parts issues. Unfortunately, I have to say Marsh is a bit of a newbie, for the ERS at least. Extremely concerned about the status of the team's finances. There's still a long way to go this season. And the coffers aren't looking too healthy. You need to make the money last. I hope this won't impact performance of final few races. Yes, boss, I hear ya. It won't be a problem. Yeah, we got 20 weeks left before this thing becomes an issue. Fortunately, we don't have the resources to work with that. Right, we got a scout complete. Let's see what they got. Jens Christian Tresborg. Hang on. Can you improve the performance of this front wing and on the reliability of else? Let's get the reliability work on the stock parts set up so that we can focus on improving the capabilities of our production work later. Okay, let's see. Jens Christian would be a low-quality driver, but he has a decent amount of potential, which should help us see some improvement. He's got consistency, but he has issues with adaptability, which is going to be a problem if we're driving through rough weather. Now, what else should I see here? We've only got a couple of racers left for checking, but most of them have been signed up. Can't really take advantage of that. Abubakar and Stefania Buchalski there, though. Might see some good stuff with them if we're lucky. Scouting department won't be able to get anything much out of this later then. Wait, here we go. The only good chance that we'll get anything out of this is via Condor Telecoms if we get 4th or above like the previous one. We could try and get Ishikawa Malt Whiskey's bonus, but there's a high chance we won't break through to at least 2nd. So I'm going to bet our chances on this one. Hopefully this will keep us alive. At the very least, the parts seem to be good for both of them. Looks awesome, but there's definitely definitely a lot of stuff we need to fix for these guys. Now let's see what we'll get with practice. Hopefully it's gonna be a bit dry, so no need to worry about wet wheels. Since it's going to be a bit of short run, at least for the circuit. The main issue will be keeping our drivers. Seriously? On practice day? You're gonna do this to me on practice day? Speed. Should probably be the harder side. Some of that. Okay, tire choice. He's going to be Inters. How's the weather looking? It looks like it's going to be a bit wet, so I'm going to put Bukalova in the wets after this. Acceleration. Handling. Wet. Well, the important thing here is that we get the race trim. Tire bonuses, not too much, since we always use the other slots for mechanic bonuses. Time being, though, let's see how things go from here. Okay, changes for that. Let's keep them at short stints so that if there's any changes that need to be done, it'll be done right quick. Put it at 2 × 2 on the game speed, and away they go. Let's see if we get the setup knowledge fast enough this time. This big chicane here is a real issue because of the large sand area. And if they have problems with braking, there is a very good chance that they'll get thrown out of the race right out on the first turn. So we're hoping we're not going to have to deal with that, because that means I'll have to restart. Okay, superb handling according to Wasu. Setup knowledge is still slow, though. Comes a flying lap. Let's see how things go. 10 minutes left in the race. Or the practice, rather. It seemed just right. Not exactly a good sign. Still some issues with trying to keep the speed at straights. At least her cornering is a bit better than last time. But there's definitely a lot of extra stuff we need to work on here. And though Bukalova seems to be having a good time with the laps right now. Sector best. She's got fastest lap so far, but I feel like she's gonna get thrown out of that soon. Right, we're gonna switch tires over to inters after this, and Vosu drops to 4th after that. Tire wetness will change by 6 minutes. Arrow is feeling great right now, apparently. Vosu drops to 6 as Fani jumps over him, along with Schober. Things not looking too hot for our number 2 here in the race, and we've only reached race trim level 1. Barely halfway through the last lap of the race. Bukalova has dropped in speed thanks to the change in weather. I think it's a good time as any to switch her out to something faster. Yeah. Still need some work on downforce and handling, but speed balance is currently great, so I think we can work on that. We can work with that. Right. Probably a little more aerodynamic. Thrusting. Handling could probably use some more understeering. Probably a little more oversteering, actually. Let's see how it works from here. Keep it, but switch the tires over to mediums. Let's get Wasu in as well. Oh, Wasu's got excellent stuff here. Speed balance is excellent, handling is great, downforce is great. Probably tweak it a little more just in case. Bit more downforce maybe. A little softer. I'll keep this, make the suspension a bit harder. Let's see how it works. Put him in softs. Yeah, unfortunately, Lormore has jumped over the times here. The roads are going to be a bit drier now, so things are going to get a bit more hectic in the last half of the practice day here. Wasu is down to 19th, Bukalova down to 4th, and the dampness on track is about to go. Looks like it's going to be dry for the rest of the test here. Vidal jumps over Solvera, just a 1/10 of a second ahead, or under a 1/10 acre, 0.024. And Esteva there showing her chops, but Schober says nope and jumps just ahead of her with a hair. Sa also getting into the best lap derby, going ahead 3/10 of a second past Schober. Well, Beklua pushes Schober even further with a .362 difference from Gansler, but Vidal says no, goes up over against Gansler this time. Really tight spot for first year in the practice run. We've only got 4 minutes to go, though. Downforce wheels bang on, that doesn't sound too good. Bossu with a sector best and personal best. Let's see if that translates to a jump in standings and time there. Holy cow, that's a big jump from the last hit at first. Bossu scores a 1 minute 28.015 second time there. And Bukalova sticking in at 14th, but definitely needs some more time to ease up on that as we approach the last 3 minutes of practice. We'll have to see if they can get that to the race trim level 3 at least. Where's El Sadat? El Sadat decidedly middle packed for some reason. Not too bad considering his situation at the start of the season and the previous season. No complaints from our driver so far, but the setup knowledge for Bukalova is still a bit slow. Let's hope that translates to high soon, because we're now down to 2 minutes left on practice. Bukalova jumps to 4th. Excellent boost there. Bossu maintains his position on top. 1 minute 27.945. Let's hope that translates to a good showing in the actual race, though. How's it looking on the other side? Vidal fails to jump in, and Gansler as well goes slowing down. Looks like they won't have time to switch over to dry tires by the end of this race. This is now the last minute. And now Bossu gets a best in sector run there. 31.228. And Bossu maintains his position as Bukalova jumps to 2nd. Pretty nice showing for the team in practice, but let's hope it actually translates to something. Unfortunately, it looks like Bukalova won't get that high, and we may not be able to get race trim level 3 here, as practice is now over. Too bad, really. Oh, there's a chance. There's still a chance. There we go. Race trim level 3 unlocked. That's going to be helpful for us in the season. It looks like it's a 1-2 finish for Watson Industries in the practice run. Just 37ths of a second for Bukalova as Bossu sets up a practice day best of 1 minute 27.526. Archer BMR still struggling for some reason. 4 seconds behind our drivers this time. And surprisingly good performance for Dragon Race Team China in practice. Now Silva and Garuda are still sneaking around the corner and definitely have the advantage there, since they have the better pit crew, so we might not be able to translate our practice day performance to an actual run. Watson Industries driver set the pace in practice here in Munich with Bossu leading the way. Bukalova follows him in second, 3.377 behind, and Vidal closes it in for Guru Racing. The heck? Cloud chasing. A rare instance of our teams getting a 1-2, but it's practice. It will change in the race itself. Looks like, yeah, it's going to be a wet race for the time being. Remember, we got to get 4th or above to get that bonus. It won't be a lot, but it'll help us survive at least another day. Alright, let's not worry about... Ooh! So, we could possibly boost Bukalova a bit more, but I think we're fine enough as is. 92%, not too bad. Bossu, though, excellent jump here from 9. Well, a bit of a drop, but he still has 2 purples. I think I'll go with that. Now, we'll probably have to keep them both in neutral and medium, since we don't want to wreck the car a little too early, not with the parts we currently have. So here's hoping it doesn't affect us in the long run. Fondi is still bottom the grid though, followed by Tianuna. Nui Hornblad is at 18th and currently third on the grid. Griffin at 4th. Marsh at 5th. Soichiro Takabayashi at 6th. Schober at 7th. Dalpecluva at 8th. El Sadat, rare mid-grid mid-grid start rather. Great, a bit of a major overhaul from his last season performance. Season performance rather. Silvera at 10th. Chu at 11th. Sa at 12th. Quite weird for her to be at the mid pack in the start of the season, considering how good she started in the previous two. UB Lormore at 13th, Billy at 14th. He's definitely going to be coming back for sure. Ramsey at 15th, Vidal at 16th, our driver Perez at 17th, Esteban at 18th, Fosu at 19th, and Gansler, current champion leader, at the back of the grid. Now let's hope we don't have to worry much about the next race with the lights out. And here we go. Let's see how we go at the first lap here. Not too good of a start for Vosu. He had a bit of a late start there. A bit of a traffic jam at the start here. Really can't maneuver there. Perez, though, managing to jump along with that the tight corner and coming up on this chicane. She manages to get 14th. And she's jumped up to 13th thanks to Lormore going a bit wider out on that run. Let's see if she can climb up a bit further here with still too much traffic. The rain definitely making it a little too hard to get everything. Ooh. Bit of a traffic jam up front. Sa gets one over El Sadat. Fandi on top, but he's only a tenth of a second ahead of his nearest competitor, Hornblood. Tianuna still at third, or dropped to third rather, with Hornblood taking over, and then there's Mars, who's a second behind both of them, pushing her car to the limit. And rounding up top 5 is veteran driver Griffin, is also at a push mode. Our tires are currently pretty decent, but their temperature is nearly cold. We might have to push them up a bit in the next lap. We'll have to see if that's going to be a problem, as we're starting to see some split-ups, or maybe not. Pretty slow run so far, mostly because of the rain, and there's a lot of traffic because of that. Bit of a procession here. Wasu still stuck in 19th, so is Gansler, still unmoving. As we start lap 2, Lola Marsh scores fastest lap. Don't know if that's going to stay for the rest. Looks like Gansler took over from the last second there. Taking over Wasu. Perez once again sticking up to 13th. Still needs some spots to stay in the lane though. His temperature controls are starting to be a bit worry. We should probably push these tires a little more so they can be a bit hotter. Tire wear won't be an issue. Looks like Bilyu is just about ready to snatch 13th away from Perez. Ooh, Wasu jumps to 19th, but Gansler still comes in on top on that last chicane. Esteban's back in the rear though, so that's going to be a good sign, hopefully. Perez almost got it. Just couldn't snack past it, and Bilyu's just about ready to get over there from that tight corner. Vidal is sneaking in, but Perez trying desperately to get back in the lane. Too bad she can't keep in on the turn. And Fondi with a rare fastest lap appearance. Now Perez is down to 14th, risking a drop to 15th. And Wasu still having to struggle against the veteran Gansler. But Esteban is still behind him, so that should be something to worry about as well. Not much of a change up here, but Tianuna has now dropped to 4th. And Hornblood has been taken over, and he's dropped third. Still a bit of an issue with the driving here. How's our parts conditions? Our front wing is at perfect. Engine's still okay. Everything else still okay. I think we can probably push it sometime in the middle. Looks like Perez having some struggling issues with getting past Billy, who overtook her earlier. And Esteva is just about ready to put Fosu back down on the tail end there. Not too hot. Ooh! Vidal snatches 14th from that turn, taking advantage of the wide open gap in the inner corner. Once again, Fondi on top. Surprisingly good performance from the Singaporean here. Even getting sector best. We might see a turnaround of fortunes in this race. Now we're seeing some more, we're still seeing some more traffic as we start lap 4, but things are starting to open up on the upper half. Once again, Vosu drops thanks to Esteva. We're now 8 seconds behind. Ooh, good jump for Perez there, taking advantage of Vidal letting the inner corner open. Now she's trying her level best to get ahead. But Bilyu is blocking her, and she can't maneuver very well. That outer corner overtake was a failure. Vidal almost got to her, but she managed to block him at the last second. And Lormore is now on the bottom here. No thanks to Esteva jumping ahead of her. Way off target, and we're still in the middle of lap 5, or rather in the middle of the first third. Now we were starting lap 5 with 25 laps remaining. And both of our drivers are now struggling to stay in packs. Let's keep those neutrals for now. Looks like things are drying up a bit. We might see some changes here around the middle. Perez drops down to 16th thanks to an overtake from Ramsey. Ooh. Wasu jumps over Gansler and Lormore thanks to that hairpin opening. Unfortunately, Gansler blocked him at the last corner, and looks like he's going to go down to 20th again, thanks to Lormore sticking a little too close to him. Approaching the end of lap 5, we're now in lap 6, 24 in the running, and Perez is now stuck at 16th. Wasu down 19th. Fandy still holding his own. But we might have to worry about things when the tarmac starts to dry up around lap 10. But Fandy's exceptional performance here is really something to look to. Esteva once again drops to 18th thanks to a straight boost for Vosu. Looks like things might be getting better for him. Probably push him a little further for now. Oh, no. Keep the fuel up there. Yeah, Esteva's definitely not having any of that, and she's going for some really daring outer corner overtakes here. Perez here is still struggling to get past Bilyu, despite the fact that Bilyu himself has dropped down to 15th. Looks like Ramsey is really jumping it in. Oh, no! Gansler took over Perez's position there in a really tight squeeze. And now Perez and Vosu are 17th and 18th at the start of lap 7. Not exactly a good sign for our drivers. Especially now that things are still in the wets. Probably adjust them to go into high for the time being. Hopefully the parts won't die out too quickly. We'll definitely have to switch tires soon. Then again, we can probably try to keep the tires up until at least lap 11. Ooh! Ooh, Vosu jumps over there. He's now 17th ahead of Perez, who's currently suffering for some issues with the tires by the looks of it. Might have to push the tires up as well as the temperature is about to go too cold. And now we're starting lap 8. Vidal scoring fastest lap once again. Looks like we got breakaways here. Still a bit of a traffic in the mid-pack, but the leaders are already way too far. Fondy's still ahead of everybody, making a 3-second gap ahead of Marsh. Impressive change there. Now can our drivers get back in it? Right, we're starting to see a bit of dryness on the roads now. Bossu and Perez in a bit of a personal battle with each other. Ooh, good overtake at the corner. Too bad Bossu has the inner corner on the rest of the hairpin, and he keeps his 17th place. Now, they'll have to take advantage of that fighting, as they need to get back into it and start lap 9. 21 laps to go. The usual suspects are starting to climb up in the ranks. Gansler at 16th, though, which is kind of weird. He's probably trying to bide his time until the roads start drying up, and then he'll push up. We still got a good deal of tire wear to work with, but it might be a good chance as any to switch over to something drier. So those guys up front are currently at 50 and 49% mostly. Probably let them run for another lap or two, and then we can probably switch over to something more suited for a dry road. So there's definitely no track grip, at least until lap 14. Oh, fastest sector for Perez there. 20 laps to go. Start lap 10. Our driver is still at 17th and 18th, but Bilyu has jumped over Vidal, and Lalpeclu and Sav jumped over the younger Takabayashi. Tianuna still in the top 4, but he's down to 6 seconds behind. Griffin at 3rd with 5 seconds behind. Marsh at 2nd, still 3 seconds behind there. And Fondi enjoying his stop spot for some reason. Now let's see if they can actually survive that. Oh, fastest sector 2 and 3 for Perez there. Gansler still blocking our drivers. He can't really, Vosu can't really, right. I'm going to put Vosu out for softs for this one. Keep the fuel as it is. I don't think I need to worry about parts so far. It looks like the front is good. So let's go with that. I'm keeping Perez until next lap, probably lap 11. Vosu's up to 17th. No, that's still the same. There's a bit of a traffic jam here, and it looks like Vidal has now blocked him. Gansler has jumped over to 14th at the start of lap 11. Right, let's send Perez over. Switch her off to mediums. Keep the fuel at the same parts. No need to worry about other parts, yes? 3 seconds, 15 seconds, 7 seconds, 9, 15. Dang it! Those bonuses aren't that much. I probably need somebody better for this one. And Perez is currently at 15th thanks to a jump there. And Vosu is somehow still at 18. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Both Griffin and Bilyu cut corners there. Not exactly a good look. You can probably put both in. Keep Perez up a bit. But Vosu will have to dial it down a bit so that we don't kill his engines or his tires a little too early. Perez just about ready to jump over Ramsey here. Good inner corner laws there. Too bad her car doesn't really have the power for straights. Fortunately, she'll have to switch over to mediums for now. Ooh! Good stuff for Perez there. 4.498 seconds, but that was a little too fast. Probably overtaking a good number of the mid-pack there. And Perez is now driving out of 10th. Who's that ahead of her? Bilyu and Chu, wheel to wheel, coming out of the pit lane. It's a lucky strike that they didn't crash into each other and block the pit lane there. Vosu jumps over a lot of the leading drivers here, and he's now at 14th as well. Good performance for the big guy. He's now jumped to 13th as he jumps over Takabayashi as well. So there's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze here on the opening chicane by the looks of it. And unfortunately, that means Vosu is stuck in the middle pack with a lot of the heavier hitters. Perez, though, riding pretty decently at 10th. Vosu jumps down to 14th because of all the traffic, unfortunately. He's still keeping it in real, though. Hopefully he can come back once we've started thinking, but Takabayashi is at inters for some reason. A bit of a bad tactic from Dragon Race team here because the tires aren't, the track wetness is going down rapidly. Staying on inters like this is going to eat into his pit times. The top 7 are still in wets, but they're definitely pitting out here. Bondi jumping in quite early. Marsh already filing in as well. Griffin, for some reason, is still in the road for this, but Tian Nuna has wisely switched out as well. Hornblad also following in the numbers, but 16%? Quite a drop. Silvera is at 22, but she's still driving. Alpiclua is also keeping it real at 36. I don't think she's going to be pitting for this one. Griffin has parts issues. Oh, looks like Silvera went for a pit run after all. Alpiclua as well. Looks like everybody in the top 7 have switched out tires, but looks like Griffin might have some more issues with engines here. Marsh takes the lead, and she's heading out on mediums. Going for endurance here, but Fondi jumps out to first with speed in his mind as he goes for softs. Now Perez has jumped to 5th. Chu ahead of her, Bilyu also in the pack, but Fendi and Marsh keeping the earlier pitters behind them. Vosu has jumped to 9th, thankfully, thanks to a couple of pit outs over there. Takabayashi, Shober, and Gansler are still ahead of him, though, so he needs to work with that in order to stay in the race. Dampness is going down really badly. Takabayashi sticking it to inters, but there might be a change in order after this lap. Although he has a good chance to overtake Perez here. A little too close for comfort, to be honest. Vosu has a good chance to jump over Gansler, but he needs to close that gap here. That's 2 car lengths at least. What? Oh. Whoops. Did I hit something? I didn't hit something, right? You tell me I didn't hit something. Okay, I did. I thought I hit the end transmission thing. Uh-oh. Vidal taking advantage of that open inner lane and snatching 9th from Vosu. Sa's right there as well, just 3 car lengths away, and a good chance to overtake as well. Perez oh no, Perez gets overtaken by Takabayashi. Oh, what? Yeah, she gets overtaken by Takabayashi on that start, on the start of that hairpin. Not looking too hot for her. Probably, maybe we should put them at high, both of them, for the time being, and then we'll focus on the fuel later. Now we're in lap 14, 16 laps remaining. Perez at 6, Vosu at 10th, Gansler ready to pounce. Probably the next pit stop he does, he'll be able to jump over the top. But Fondi is keeping his cool, and he's now 5 seconds ahead of our team. He's dropped his power. He's dropped his engine performance, though. Might be a sign that he's going to have some issues soon. Hard parts condition update. Looks like we're down to 60s in Perez's car. While Sue's still at 7th, would be a good sign. Question is, can he keep it? Ooh! Good overtake there for Gansler as Schober drops to 8th. Thanks to a bad break there. There's a good chance that Vosu can also take advantage of this, but he needs to hold it in. There you go. Almost ran that over. Perez is now 5 car lengths behind Takabayashi at the very least. Was here complaining about that, despite the fact that he jumped to 8th. I think for the time being, we're still in a good run here. Definitely gonna need to push that tire wear up in a couple, though. I had to switch over. Ooh, Fondi and Chu fighting for best or fastest lap at the start of lap 15 here. And Vidal just goes, nope, this is still my game. Uh-oh, here's Gansler sneaking behind Perez. Ready to overtake at the next corner. Perez definitely trying to keep him at least 2 cars lengths away, but not exactly succeeding at that. Excuse me. Gansler showing his ultra super late braking abilities to easily close the gaps on the corners. And just like that, he manages to sweep past Perez and snatch 6th. Vosu probably trying to get there. As we start lap 16, probably have to switch over now to push. Gonna have to change tires and add some fuel soon. Doesn't seem like it's gonna be raining to the end of the race at least. Now both our drivers are at 7th and 8th. Question is then, can they get back at it? Vosu couldn't get on that outer lane overtake. Perez gets one on Gansler, but can Gansler get back at it? Nope, not for that outside turn. Looks like Perez is now jumping in. We're looking at Takabayashi, who still hasn't switched out of his inters at the start of lap 17. The road dampness is almost nil at this point. We're trying to keep it at the pace there. Wasu almost got the overtake, but nope. Oh, wait. Wasu pushing out both his teammate and Takabayashi on that straight there. Snatching 5th. It looks like Gansler is also ready to get back in the heat, but thankfully Perez is blocking things on there. Takabayashi, though, making life a bit more difficult. For Perez, trying not to... Ooh, almost ran out of the road and almost hit the tire barriers there. Bit reckless overtaking on the outside turn for Perez. As Vosu is almost ready to jump into 4th. No, he's still 10 car lengths behind Marsh, though. And 7 seconds behind Fondi, who's been performing absolutely well all race. He's now balanced out, but he does have his tires at 55%. Good chance we might still be able to get back into things once we hit lap 22 or 21. Fortunately, Perez looks like he's having a hard time staying at it, thanks to Vidal and Gansler. Ooh! Nope. She was on the outside. Now both Vidal and Takabayashi jumps over him, or over her at the start of lap 18. Vosu with a lot of open space here. The question is, can he keep it in the reins there? Chu is now back at the top. Ooh. Finally, Takabayashi jumps into the pit lane a little too late, though. But there's a good chance he can probably make the most out of it, as this is his second pit lane stop, and we're now at lap 18. If he can keep things steady here, he'll be able to get back in the runs, possibly, and probably take over even the current race leaders. Oof, Perez having trouble with Vidal up front. Vosu slicking it easy over there. Still can't get close to Marsh, however, and that's going to be a bit of a problem as we start lap 19 in a couple. And the gap between Fondi and Bulyu has dropped now, though. Ooh, finally! We're overtaking them on the straight there, and looks like Perez is just about Perez is now starting to get some gaps out. Bosu as well. Thanks to a bit of a cooldown there. Chu is still at fastest lap for the time being, though at the start of lap 19. We might have to do a late switch out for tires here. But considering how things are going, we could at least try and push the other drivers up further. Car parts condition update, still in 60, but I don't want to push it just yet. Maybe we can, no, we need to increase Wasu's heat up too. And both our drivers are pretty much neck and neck in fuel consumption for the time being. Definitely have to put Wasu in the box earlier. Just don't know when I want to put him in. Okay, probably start like next lap. And switching over to softs again. Okay, and then put the fuel up. Just one stop there. Parts condition, I don't think I need to switch anything, but we will be battling Soichiro Takabayashi for the next stop, I'm afraid. Perez can probably keep the drive up for the time being, but by the looks of it, Ganser is just about ready to get back in his position. Ooh, Takabayashi scores fastest lap. That's not a good sign. Basically means he has a chance to get at least in the mid-pack here. A little too tight. A little too tight. Just like that, Perez loses 6th. Thanks to Gansler getting a bit of a tight squeeze out there in the inner corner. And now Perez is at 4th. Start lap 21. I don't think we'll be able to do anything much for this one. But Fondi is just about ready to go. 21% actually. Marsh, still good at 50, but that's gonna need a change for sure. Gansler also just about ready to switch out, so we might have to change up our drivers here. Perez, you're gonna need new mediums. Put the fuel up a bit. Oh, I can probably fix the rear. Oh, no, fix the front wing. Thankfully, that won't change much. So, let's go at it. Let's see if we can actually survive this. Wasu drops to 17th because he can't exit the pit lane fast enough. Now he's dropped to 18th because Chu is in the way. We're definitely going to lose these standings, and we're going to drop to 3rd. Unless we can get back into things and push Garuda, or probably at least get Garuda down. But we must not miss our cup objective as much as possible. I can afford to lose some of the sponsorship money, but I cannot afford to lose team standing. We still got a lot of racing to go at the very least. Nope. Ow, there was a mistake in the refueling. Not good, not good. That's not a good sign. We're having mistakes this early in the cup. We're probably not going to be able to get anywhere near. Bosu is now down 13th. Perez down to 17th. Can we still get at it? Because Lucatelli Racing is currently ahead of us. There's a good chance that these guys will have to change out soon. 7 laps to go. Start at lap 23, and both of our drivers are still in the back. Bosu jumps to 10th as he takes over Billy Lormore and Ramsey. Perez jumps to 15th, but she still needs a lot of work to get through. They had to push that tire a bit more. Car parts condition update, nah. Still got a lot of laps to work with. I don't think I want to push the engines just yet. These guys pitting out. 6 laps to go. I'll push them at probably lap 4, or probably 4 laps, or probably 3. Perez now at 15th, Foster at 9th. We're still in the running though, but somehow McSala Motorsport is on top for the time being on the projected championship standings. Luna scoring fastest sector on Sector 1 there. There's a good sign that some of these guys might be switching over soon. Well, but Klua definitely in the pipes though. So is Sa. Now March is going in, but Sa is keeping her roll up until at least the next lap. Uh-oh, Chu is having parts issues right now. We might see a retirement here, if not a car mistake. We start lap 5, lap 25 rather. We've got 5 laps to go here. Joasu jumps to 7th. And Perez drops to 16th as Lalpiclua jumps over her. She might even drop to 17th with Tia Nuna right there. Maybe it's a bit risky, but I think we should push her a bit more. Right, 77% on the tires. Push these tires a bit further up, maybe. We got 4 laps to go. Ooh! Tia Nuna still sticking it up. Where's Gansler? Gansler is at 9th. Bit of a change here at the start of lap 26. 4 laps to go. Vosu is at 5th. There's still a chance we could get the sponsorship objective here, if we're lucky. Perez, though, still needs to work out on that one. Ooh, jumps over 15, getting past Griffin, who had to take a last-minute pit stop there. Chu is still ahead of us, like 3 to 4, no, 3, 4, 5 are 5 cars lengths ahead of Vosu, but that engine issue might have a bit of a problem or parts issue rather, might be a bit of a deciding factor here on the last few laps of the race. Trying to push this car a bit further up. Oh no, Perez drops to 16, Tia Nuna jumps over her. And Hornblatt just about ready to get that 16th place as well. Marsh once again taking the lead. Esteva still on top, but might change soon. Fani takes the lead with Esteva going to the pits. Bosu jumps to 4th, and we're in the sponsorship objective now. We just need to bring these cars home. Question is, can we at least get up to 3rd, maybe? Perez might have some issues here. Keeping it neutral. Perez jumps to 15th, thanks to somebody taking the pit stop lane there. That's Esteva. Fortunately, Chu is still ahead of Vosu, unless we can... Oh! Looks like we're having problems with Chu's parts here now. A bit of a major gap there, unfortunately. Vosu just having some serious problems getting into overtake position for Chu. And unfortunately, we have Sa just behind him. I'd have to push it a bit more. If things start looking too hot here, I think we've still got 2 laps to go. I'm not going to push it too hard until probably the final lap. Screw it. Push it all the way up. I don't want Sa on our tail right now. That sounds a little too close to Vosu. There's a good chance she can jump in just 3.3 tenths of a second there. Perez still stuck in the back. I don't think she'll be able to do anything about that. But even if we do suffer from this one, as long as we can keep our current positions, we're still on top on standings. Not too hot with Perez there, though. Oh, good jump there. Taking advantage of having a bit of a trouble with recovering from that corner. And now Vosu is sticking it up a little closer to Chu just for the fight to the third. Could he overtake? He does, taking advantage of that bad turn on the middle of the chicane, and now Vosu is in third. Too bad Perez can't take advantage of that. She's all the way back in 14th. And now we are in the final lap of the race. Let's see if we can push him a little further here. And let's see if Vosu will be kind enough on the throttle to avoid sputtering out at the last second. Sa is still there. Chu having trouble with his parts means he's not gonna be able to take advantage or get back into his position. Gansler is now stalking everybody at 6th and has a good chance to get back at it. Now we just need to bring or nurse the car home. That's all we need to do. Nurse the car home, keep the fuel up, and don't blow everything. Gonna have to push it a bit further up. He's not gonna lose fuel on the last few turns, right? Drop it down a bit. Come on, Vosu, keep the car going. Just a bit more, you're gonna win another podium, buddy. There we go. Not bad, but unfortunately, I think Perez is gonna be complaining for this one. Nonetheless, we managed to keep our first place standings and even get 1 point ahead of Silver Racing, but Fondi scoring a wonderful, dominating win here for Dragon Race Team. Definitely making much of that wet work. And despite the fact that Fondi did have a bit of an early stop, or rather a late stop there, he managed to keep everything to his he managed to keep everything under control, and he even kept Marsh out of the way to score the win for Dragon Race Team here in Munich. Surprisingly, Takabayashi, or probably unsurprisingly, Takabayashi is down at 20th because of that rather late game changeout of the Inter tires. Meanwhile, Perez is definitely going to have a lot of complaints for that one, as she's now down to 14th because of that fuel line mistake, which definitely cost her a lot. Not exactly a good look for our pit crew here. See what the GMA has to say about parts. Oh, that's not good. Looks like Bilyu's drive-through penalty went through, and he is given a 1-point penalty there. Griffin as well suffers a 1-point penalty because of that drive-through in that same corner. Marsh managed to get some extra points for the fastest lap bonus. Fortunately, that's not going to be helpful for our standings. Okay, let's see what we got. Not a good sign for Perez there, but we did manage to stay in the podiums at least. It's a good sign for us, but unfortunately that means Perez drops down to 7th. Watson in it, Vosu jumps up to 1st, a rare sight for our team. He's only 2 seconds ahead of Gansler, or rather 2 points ahead of Gansler. Marsh jumps to 6th thanks to that fastest lap bonus and the excellent performance in the top 3. And we got Sa, Bilyu, Chu, and Marsh jumping up. Ramsey and Lormor also suffering drops alongside Perez. Fondi and Estevas switching positions. Looks like Estevas' estimates fell short. I guess a lot of pundits are scratching their heads at the poor performance of the Vaxala veteran. 2 points ahead of Silva Racing is still scary despite the fact that we're not just in the second leg of the season. I hope it doesn't bite us in the back later. Dragon Race team can pat themselves in the back because they're currently not the worst team on the circuit right now. Surprisingly, Octane Racing is right there for some reason. Archer BMR jumps a bit more up to 8th. Dempelli and Lucatelli stuck in the middle. Garuda Racing, the demoted team, is currently at 5th. And ZRT Motorsport rounds up the middle end at 4th. I understand where this comes from. Yep, we did run out of podium. Oof, poor Hornblood. Bit optimistic for the kid. I think this is the first time I saw a Dragon Race team win a pole in my current playthrough. Though I think maybe in a previous playthrough they did, but I just wasn't paying attention that much. You have next. I got engine issues to worry about next season or next run. Thankfully, we didn't. Oh, Chairman's not too happy about that. Apparently, we dropped to 4th in the expected finishes because of Perez's performance. At the very least, we're still in a good spot. Drivers are still okay. Definitely need some boosts in skills here. We're still making money. Ooh, 187,000 out of that. Not too bad, really. How's things looking up in the Asia Pacific Super Cup? We got Valbuena's Magnus Krantz scoring both top of the podium and pole position bonus, which gives him 12 points total. Kruger Motorsports, Imanol Armoa comes in second, but with a 20-second gap. What? And Cristiano de Oste from Boa Esperanza is 30 seconds behind at third. Some pretty surprising gaps here. I don't know how they managed to get that. Would be interesting to see how things go up in the Asia Pacific Super Cup if we ever get promoted. Right. Standing so far, though, Firebird MRT, their new driver Sylvander, is at third with 8 points, but that means they haven't scored anything much here. The other Firebird racer, veteran M. Parker, is still pointless after 2 rounds of the APSC. Not exactly good luck for the European Racing Series, but I guess it's because he doesn't have much work with the heavy stuff. And here's our roundup. Fortunately, because of Perez's drop, we're technically at 4th. Guess the chairman won't be too happy about that. Let's hope we can do something better in this next lap, which will be, unfortunately, the last run for the day. Again, I do apologize for that because we're still a couple of days out from finishing the stuff I need to do. Hopefully, once that's done, we'll be able to complete or continue on with the regular schedule. Okay, let's see the drops there. Vosu dropped 21, Perez dropped 38. Not a bad spot, all things considered. It could have been better, to be honest. Okay, we'll see activity. Oof. Well, as much as I think he's good, well, he's a pay driver. 300,000. He's still got 33 months on his contract, so we can't really put him in. Okay. Total of 4 stops, that's 3.035 seconds slower than their season record, and we had one pit mistake. Wasn't dangerous, but it definitely lost us time, unfortunately. That put Perez behind, and that also dropped our standings overall. Yabuki, what the hell are you doing, dude? We finished the engine, so I think we can work on that later. I wish we can just scout someone. Who deserves this engine more? Happy. Okay, now I want a new set of engines. Top speed. Top speed. Enough? Then we can probably... those are sponsors. Ishikawa has already left because they completed their contract with us. Let's see if there is somebody big enough to come and replace them, or Ishikawa might come back to get some more from us. Alright, car repair is complete. Dogtooth Lake Motor Group. Who are these guys? They're a GT team. GT Lake Motor Group, I see. Okay, car repair is finished. I think we can switch over parts improvements for engines. How does this go? 1 day before the race, 16 days before the race. Where's the engine? I need some reliability work. No, let's put that for later. How about performance? Days, okay, not bad. We'll push that in. Can work with that. 9 days. Design new part on the way. Let's see who our sponsors are. Trans-Antarctic. You got a $200 upfront payment or a bonus payment at 1.4 million. We gotta get second or above. Not exactly a good look. On the other side, Sangju is offering no upfront. Has a bonus payment of 1 million, but you gotta get second, and they don't have a race bonus at home. I guess we'll go with the one that offers money right up front. That's Antarctic. Welcome aboard for the next 6 races, I suppose. Everybody else is also on the long run. Golden Tiger still has 6 races with us. They got a $200 bonus pool, but that's not much in the long run. We can probably try to get second. We need better parts, and we need to get our drivers up and rolling better. 27 weeks until the design center is finished. What else needs working on? Scouting, handling development center might need work. Oh no, that's suspension. Tour center, not much. Telemetry. Scouting, staff center. What else could need working here? Well, we can't really use these. That's for rear wing, that's also in stock right now. Definitely want to get the road car factory going soon. If there's something that helps boost driver stats overall instead of just keeping them behind everything else. Yeah, we could probably get something out of the forecasting center. Maybe not. Alright, let's see if we can go ahead and see what else is coming in. Performance work is done. Let's work on switching out. Why are they going for a telemetry center again? Right, everything else is done there. 7 days to complete for reliability work. Thankfully, not much to worry about everything else, but I think we can probably prioritize getting the engine average up, at least the performance up, or rather the reliability up for one engine, and then everything else seems to be okay so far. No need to worry about that. Let's see what Scott to say about this. One of the best drivers, she has the ability to improve into a very strong driver with the championship. She's smooth, but she's not good for feedback, which is a bit of a problem. She's taking active acting lessons, so that's a boost to marketability, but not much else. So Tony Zhang is an Endurance Cup team. Can't really do anything with Endurance Cup drivers for the time being. I need paid drivers. Okay, there's a marketability note again. Dubai will be a 20-lap race, so that's a one-stopper. Bone dry. We have the best engine around. Or weird, kind of weird to say that. Scouting report finished. Naotaka Takama. Good potential. Given a chance to improve, he could certainly become one of the better drivers in the grid. He's good at cornering. Must be a drifter. But he struggles with braking. Okay, maybe not a drifter. Maybe he's the guy who says ultra super lento braking or something. And he's already signed. He's considering offers, but he doesn't have. He doesn't have any post. What do you call it? He doesn't have any paid driver bonuses. Excellent work in getting our team's marketability into such a strong position. Anything that strengthens the commercial arm of the team is good news, and having one of the most marketable teams in the ERS puts us in a superb position to sign the most lucrative sponsorship deals. Good thing he's not complaining about the drop in sponsorship marketability because of the bad performance. Definitely need to get back sponsor marketability, to be honest. Let's see what happens with the World Motorship Championship in Beijing. Ooh. Lippanen and Tanakuchi dominating the grid here. 1-2 finish for Steinman. Parisi drops down to third, both in the race and in the championship standings. Not exactly a good sign for Scuderia Rosini. Not to mention that his teammate B. White is still stuck in the back. No points whatsoever to his name. Kitano also not doing too hot. 7 and 8. By the looks of it, Chariot Motor Group might be demoted to the Asia Pacific Super Cup at the end of this season if things keep up like this. The staff is still 4th best, sponsors the best, pit crew 8th best now. That's fine. Quarters best on grid, drivers 9th best, car best on. A day and 17 hours, maybe there's still gonna be enough time to at least fix it up. Ah, there's the boss. Yeah, boss, I get you. Okay, let's see what the motorsport world is saying before the race in Dubai. Yep, we only got 2 points ahead of Silva. Martino Pozzi and company in check. Charlotte, you're getting a little too ahead of yourself. This is Dubai. Things can change rather quickly here. Yep, Fandi is optimistic they can still win, but the car is definitely in a bit of a bad spot rather. Yeah, we can hopefully get second at least. Let's hope we can actually get second, because I don't feel too hot about the current setup. Ooh, okay, maybe since it's too far in the game now, let's just save it here, and hopefully use this as a jump-off point should we need to restart the Dubai run. I feel like we will need to do that. Okay. I mean, we can probably put there. I need to improve that soon. One day after, day before race. Not this. Where's that engine? 5 days after the race? Oh no. Uh, just have to hope that it doesn't crash and burn on us. Probably gonna need a new setup for late game? Well, we can probably get some of these front wing parts in the red zone for preparation for next time. Speed corners, red zone -5, that's illegal. And don't want to use these because they're only on, wait, soft supers and ultras. That's going to drop reliability, so maybe not. Get this too for next time. Oh, a slot for good. Or for great, rather. No, it's good. Fine, increase that. Not to jump on reliability, though. It's gonna cost us $760. $760,000, rather. Okay, here's hoping the parts last long enough. I'm gonna need great engines, to be honest. Maybe not. We're gonna need those great engines for next season. Maybe. Definitely gonna have to invest in better parts here. Right. Engine has been fitted. See if we can go for something next. Oh, scouting report. Charles Henry Assion. Better drivers, decent amount of potential. Best in adaptability, but he suffers from overtaking. He's always signed with Team Keyta as a reserve. I don't think he's gonna sign up with us. Keyta's a higher a higher tier racing team, and they're currently 4th in the Asia Pacific Super Cup. There's no way in hell they're gonna join us. Now we are in Dubai. Here's hoping our fortunes will be turned here. Well, Perez's fortune at least. Since it's going to be a 20-lap race, it's going to be one hell of a sprint. Oh, new news. Lena Barre, that would be an average driver in the ERS. Potential is good, though, and given a chance to improve, she can certainly become one of the better drivers in the championship. She's smooth, but she has a hard time when cornering. She's a reserve with Risato Corsa, though. And she doesn't have any driver traits, so that's not a good sign. This is on the mail. Uh-oh. What are they going to be voting on for this time? Bonds. Condor Telecom seems decent. Second or above? That's risky. It still has a good amount of money though. I think we'll stick with Condor. I'm not too confident we're going to be able to get this 1 million. Not until I can actually get some holes up. Every parts seem to be okay. Here we go. Let's hope things are okay here. Remember, it's 20 laps, so we have to switch midway. Only switch as early as lap 9 if things call for it. Speed. 2 at softs, while so Bukolova sticks to mediums. Gonna need some more aerodynamics. Some steer. Top speed. Keep it a medium, and here we go. Let's see if things change here. Keep them both at short stints so that we don't have to worry about requiring or taking the long way out here. Sharp knowledge not going as fast as I hope it would. Not a good sign there. And the lower performance because of all the stock parts is really hurting our speed right now. They could have gone straight through. I think they can handle the end of that tiny hairpin without having to lose or lock up. Right, here's the start of the new flying lap. Too much angle on the wings there. We'll see with the jump there. Setup knowledge is halfway through low. Race trim jumping up high. Ooh, feeling great right now. Just to race up means there's gonna be a need for changing there. Wasu and Bukalova switch lanes on Fest sector. Let me just get oh, Vidal jumped up. I think we're not gonna be able to get any good laps here. I'm putting Bukalova in. She definitely needs that fix, I feel. Yep. Less responsive handling. Ooh, Vidal has an injury? But is he kind of sick or something? Well, he probably has dodgy neck. Alright, Vasu is now up to medium with 7 minutes left on practice. Track rip is excellent so far. Gazzer with top form on time there, and now we're race trim level 1. Still need some workout for this. Run longer ratios, got you. Excuse me. Okay, downforce is poor, handling is okay, speed balance is okay. Longer. There's too much downforce. And a bit responsive handling. That should be enough. Keep the tires up, maintain his position. We definitely need better pit crew. That's eating up into our times here. Su's still up top the grid, but he's not looking too hot right now. Yeah, I'm seeing only whites on his marker there. Ooh, he's still fastest lap by the looks of it. Gandler is definitely looking at his position and getting ready to pounce up for first. Vidal drops a third on that last pass. Bukalova's not coming out of her outlap. 3 minutes 40 seconds behind. Or 3 minutes 40 seconds left in practice. Race trim still low. Alright, tweaks are great, but Bukalova drops to 6th. Wasu is still in medium. We might have to bring him in now. Tokabayashi jumps up with a new fastest sector 1, 38.71 seconds. Wasu might be losing his top spot here. Ooh! Excellent numbers from the guy. Probably... No, that's not how it works. Setup. We need to get the speed up a bit more. Probably... Slight boost to acceleration might be good. Let's see if things change from here. We've still got 2 and 20 remaining on practice. Maybe we can get that to all purple. hopefully we can also get race trim up to level 3. Not looking too hot for us right now, though. Jump up to 4th. Race trim level 2 unlocked. Alright. We still have a bit of a problem, though, because we've only got 1 minute left, and their setup knowledge is still at medium. Both of them, that is. I don't think we're going to be able to get race trim level 3, guys. Nope, definitely not. We're nowhere near halfway. I just need at least level 3 on the mediums, or rather on race trim. Lower race trim stats is not going to be helpful for us. I guess because I didn't get Bukalova fixed up in time, which is why we won't be able to get that. That's a shame. Good vote of confidence there from Miss Gaddin. Rachel Noy impressed with Vosu on the top in the practice, but I don't think that's going to translate well. Estua can finish 4th, but she's definitely in a good spot to snatch the podium again later. Let's see if we can actually get something out of this. 4th or above, remember, one stop alone for both of our drivers. Now the question is when we should be stopping. Excuse me. Level 2 race trim, not exactly a good sign. Our setup, same. Ooh, downforce definitely needs a bit more work. I think we can go with that. What's the numbers on? Sorry about that. Now where were we? Alright, downforce. So the numbers on Valsu's car. Ooh, all purples. 16.4, 26.3, 21, 69, 75, 16.4, 26.3. Now if we try to put that here. It's gonna drop the speed up. Put her in mediums. Keep the fuel filled. What else is that? 69 and 75. Here's hoping that using this number will keep her alive, but I think you can probably just keep her current setup here, since that's one she knows. Keep her in medium. Well, here's hoping it doesn't impact her much. We need her up there. And keep everything on medium. Takabayashi at the top of the grid is not exactly a good sign for him. He's one of the younger drivers here. Hopefully it doesn't affect his morale that much for the rest of the season. Oh, not exactly a good start there. Perez with the poor acceleration. That's going to drop her a bit. Oh, managed to get up to 12 thanks to a bit more traffic up front. I don't think she's going to be able to take advantage of that. Takabayashi snatching first, though, thanks to a bit of a run-up from Hornblood and Griffith in the outlane. Perez now at 12th. Can she get back into it? Ooh, good overtake on the corner there. She's now up to 11. She's up to 10. No, she's dropped to 12 again thanks to Fundy and Marsh. Takabayashi, Griffin, Lapiclu, and Silvera up front. Tire temperatures are still pretty cold, are going cold for our team. Wasu's up on the back there. Oof. What? Hang on. Okay, Vosso and Sa trying not to get stuck in 20th. Perez here having a bit of a trouble sticking up on the upper parts of the mid-pack. Now she's down to 13th thanks to Marsh. We're just in the first lap here. Already a lot of action despite the fact that there's still a bit of a traffic jam. Ramsey, despite his condition, is currently best in lap, but he's still down at 8th. We'll see if things start to switch over here as we start to see some split-ups. Silvera managed to snatch one over Takabayashi, and she is now in pole. Will she be able to hold it in, though? A bit of a tight spot. Lormore just about ready to push Perez off the side. Now it's Vidal and Lormore there, both Garuda Racing drivers ready to get out it over there and push Perez off the side of the map. Thanks to the high speed of this circuit, there's a lot of more space for all our drivers here. And Vosu still up on the backside. Probably attempt to push him over a bit more. And Tia Nuna, who was a little further higher up earlier, is now down at 12th, with Marsh getting ahead of her. Perez still in the back here. Vosu stuck with Ganser in the back as well. Now we're starting lap 3 with some more lanes up and open. Everything seems to be a blur, although there's still a bit of a pack up here in the rear. Let's look at the front side. Silvera for Octane is currently ahead. Probably 15 car lengths lead from Takabayashi, who lost the lead early, or rather midway through the first lap. Griffin at third, trying to be a bit more conservative with his tires by the looks of it. Alpaclua rounds up the top 4, being 2 seconds behind, but she's pushing her engines to the limit here. Now, can Vosu jump back into things? As we have some trouble looming for Perez again, with Vidal and Lormore just about... Oh, somebody asked for team orders. What? Looks like we got team orders in the lineup here. I'll have to check that later. Vosu drops down to 19 thanks to Esteban. Ooh! Sa also jumping in ahead of him. Almost got overtaken by Tianuna there, but Perez manages to snatch 12th on the home corner. Looks like things are starting to really open up for every driver here at the start of lap 4. And the question is, can both of them get into it? With Silvera still ahead now, 3 seconds ahead of Takabayashi. Lalpiclua jumping at third thanks to a bit of a mistake by Griffin there in the back. Griffin now conserving his tires because of a bit of an overheat. Perez almost getting into it at the end of that chicane, but Bilyu and Fondi had a bit of a pickup and blocked most of the raid. By the looks of it, though, Fondi is already having issues this early. Looks like their car is definitely in a bit of a whack-up. Oh, wait, no, it's not Fondi, actually. It's Bilyu. And it looks like Billy will have to play conservative as both his tires and some parts of his car are in distress this early in the race. If Perez got a little too focused on getting past Billy, that Tia Nuna jumped over her again. Now she's down to 14th, with Vidal getting ahead of her as well. Bossou still in the back there. Not exactly looking too happy. And they're in a bit of a tight squeeze on that S-turn. Perez takes over Vidal on the straight, and she's now back to 13th. Can she capitalize on that and jump over to some higher ranks in the race? Vosu manages to jump over Esteban and Sano, but it's still a bit of a tight squeeze for our driver, as both Fixel and Motorsport girls are still close to her, and close to him, just at the start of lap 6, or lap 5 rather. Gansler is still blocking the way for Vosu, while Perez is still stuck at 13th. It's been 2 laps now. Trying to conserve the tires a bit. Oof. Gansler, good blocking there. Couldn't keep. Rather, couldn't let Vosu through on that tighter outer turn. Takabayashi now 4 seconds behind Silveira at the closing segment of lap 5. We'll see if a drastic change in standings will happen here. Perez is trying to keep the tires a bit colder. Ooh! Almost got one over Tia Nuna, but she couldn't land the overtake on that corner there. Now we start lap 6 with not much of a difference for our drivers. The Vosu is still sticking it in at 18th. Vidal stalking Perez now. There's still a bit of a traffic jam here in the lower half of the pack, but things can change drastically. Ooh, Gansler got pushed out. Not only did Vosu jump over him, but Esteban got an overtake as well. Looks like Gansler had a bit of an issue on that entry, and he's having trouble keeping it at the straights as well. Not exactly a good sign. Billy still having issues with his car parts, but he's holding on to his 12th place spot. Maybe not. Those car part issues cost him dearly as Perez manages to take over his position thanks to that chicane. Looks like Perez is also driving further up. She's now at 11th, or at least trying to keep 11th, as she jumps over Tia Nuna, with March still blocking her. Nope. Tia Nuna said, nope, that's my position, and she managed to get one over Perez there. Fortunately, Tia Nuna has a better engine here, or at least a better acceleration skill, rather. Perez drops down to 13th on that home corner. While Sue's still looking to get close up on the middle. And now we're at start lap 7 with Lormore still in front of Vosu. Now it's only Vidal keeping the teammates in check. And looks like that failed as Perez and Vosu not only gets past Vidal, he even jumps past Perez there. Trying to play conservative with the tires again. Good tight cornering there for Perez, jumping over Marsh. Uh-oh! We've got a casualty. Looks like Griffin managed to crash himself into the sandlot here in the start of the long chicane at Sector 3, so no overtaking from there. That's going to help us get some more points. Fortunately, that means Zampelli Engineering might suffer a serious setback in their numbers here. Although they're still coming up in 5th, but with Griffin out of the way, there's a good chance that they'll drop significantly. And significantly it is. There's a good chance they're going to drop to 10th. Unless they eke out a miracle and manage to get back on top. Silvera and Takabayashi aren't having any of that. Well, Baklua, though, is for Lucatelli, so that's one thing. Schober is also Lucatelli, which means Lucatelli Engineering has a good chance to get back into the fight here. The only other, no, not Octane. The only other Zampelli in the running is, was it Marsh? No, Marsh is Archer. Dal, Bilyu. Oh no. Bilyu is having issues with his car and is going for a pit. There's a good chance that Zampelli is definitely going to drop to the end of the team standings for this one, unless Bilyu manages to make a miracle. Oh no, Perez is having a bit of a tough time trying to keep her position in check at the start of lap 8. And fortunately, Chu gets ahead of him, gets ahead of her. Wasu also loses his 12th place spot there, thanks to a really tough marsh. I think I'm going to pit. Let's pit Perez early. And any parts we can fix? Okay, let's fix the rear end, maybe? Or the brakes. Suspension also needs work. I think we'll go with the suspension. 29% risk? Are you kidding me? Right, Vosu is now at 11th, but there's still a lot of work to be done here. Can he stay in his position? 47% left on his tires. Lormore and Marsh get 1/2. Perez having a hard time getting back into his old position. Silvera almost down to the nubs, going in for a pit this one. Takabayashi 6 seconds behind her, but he's still got 39%. Gonna take advantage of that pit lane stop. While Paklua 10 seconds behind, trying to be conservative with both her engines and her tires. Schober 13 seconds behind, just keeping her tires cold. She's driving at medium capacity, so there's a good chance she'll be able to stay in the fight. Wasu definitely has a lot of work cut out for him. Oh god. Gansler gets 1/Perez. That's gonna eat up in her time. As we start lap 9. Sending someone over for a pit stop. Let's see if things change around here. Taking a while to get to our pit lane, unfortunately, because we're at the end of things. But at least Perez manages to keep her 16th spot there. Do we want to risk it here? I think we can risk it here, really. Put him at softs. Keep the fuel up. Oh, that's a little too much fuel. Parts condition. Everything seems to be good. Yeah, we'll go with that. Here's hoping we don't suffer any errors here. We're definitely going to lose our spots, unfortunately. And Silva Racing has a good good lead for us here. Unless we can somehow eke out a miracle. Andy right there in the back. Not exactly a good sign for our drivers. Can still push it up a bit more since they're in the tights here. Start of lap 10 and Vosu is now in the pit lane. Let's hope he doesn't suffer any issues. Alright, looks like it's good, but he's down in 15th. And Perez is just behind her, or behind him. At least that's what we think, but Fondi's right there in the way. Let's put that down a bit. Let's try to be a bit more conservative with both our drivers as everybody else is about to go for a pit lane stop here. Keep our tires alive for a bit longer, and hopefully we don't need to... we can close the gap with the race leaders here. Both of our drivers are behind badly. Start of lap 10, and we're 30 seconds, an average of 32 seconds behind both of them. Probably 35 with both of them. Ooh, Ian Nuna. What? Oh, did Nuna take a pit lane? Oh yeah, she did. Or he did, rather. Getting tossed, getting some cold down there. Now to be a bit more conservative with the tires, but we're still in a good spot here, wear-wise. We just need to keep both of them in the lane and get them close enough to the leaders so that we can take advantage once they start pitting in. Uh-oh. Esteva. Team orders from Vexala again. Start lap 9 and our drivers are still 40 seconds behind for Perez. Size now in the pit lane, but can we take advantage of that? I don't think we can. Oh no, we can. Looks like Wosu jumps over her. Perez also. So looks like she'll be, jumping out on the late end there. Still got a lot of run to go. 8 laps remaining. Can our drivers keep it in position and jump over the rest of the grid and finally go back up? A little too far though. 35 and 41 seconds behind the race leader, Lopeclua. She's got parts issues. Can she stay in the lane there? No, we are not able to take advantage of the people in the pit lane. Wasu jumps to 9th. Perez stuck at 14th. There's still a couple of racers up front. Can we get past them? We're only at lap 13, 8 laps to go. I don't think we can we'll be able to push our drivers a bit further once we reach the end of the leg here. Alpeclua just about ready to jump into position with Perez. We've only got 7 laps to go, still way behind. A little too tight there. Yep. Alpeclua might be able to get an overtake here on this opening corner. Now Perez is down at 15th. That's just the start of lap 14. There's a lot of action going around. We're going to drop to 2nd by the look here. Oh, Perez manages to get her position back, but she's still stuck behind Fondi on the racetrack. Wasu up on 9th. Tires down at 69%, but his heat is still good. It started 6 laps. Ramsey goes for a pit. Can we jump past him? Nope, we can't. Ramsey is down to 8th, and he's ahead of Wasu. There's still a lot of racing to go here. 30 seconds behind the race leaders. Couldn't really take advantage of everything else. Be a good time to push a bit. Go into neutral. Schober, Vidal, Lorimore, and Gansler are definitely in the need for a pit lane here. Fortunately, Gansler manages to get ahead of everybody else without pitting this late. Wasu jumps to 7th, but there's still a lot of numbers to go here. And Perez is still way behind at 13th. I don't think we'll be able to keep up with the numbers, unfortunately. We still have a couple of laps to go. Maybe we can push a bit for both of our drivers. Just a bit. And Esteva just about ready to jump over. A lot of leeway for every driver here now. Oh, not looking too hot. Tires are looking hotter though, so we need to push that down a bit. Now we've only got 4 laps remaining. Bossu jumps to 6th with Gansler in the pit lane. Perez taking a 13, couldn't get past Gansler. Bossu still has to worry about Schober and Ramsey ahead of him. We definitely need better pit crew, that's a real problem. Nope. Schober just a second ahead of us. It's not going to be easy keeping things up as we want to. We're now approaching the start of lap 17, or lap 18 rather, and there's still 3 laps to go, so I think we're going to be pushing down the throttle on this one. So unless we manage to luck out and get some of the other drivers here in the middle out of the way, we won't be able to get back into our position. We're going to lose stuff to Silver Racing here, but it looks like Silvera is already having issues with her parts. How about Takabayashi? Takabayashi's still rolling 43%. There is a good chance he'll be able to grab the pole position here. Now, our only objective is to get into the rain and at least get 4th. But that's going to be tough with the current setup here. Perez once again drops to 15th thanks to Lopeclua on the overtake. A good time to push everybody up the ramp. Couldn't get past everybody there. The braking is a bit of an issue now. I don't think Vosu can get past Showa even as we approach lap 9. There's just too much of a gap with them. Vosu can't really take advantage there. The back. Oh, Tia Nuna is forced to pit. That's pretty bad. Pretty late stop here for Tia Nuna. Perez drops to 13th with Esteva ahead of her. Silver Racing still in the pipe there. Perez drops to 14th, thanks to Lopeclua there. Bit of a fight in the home chicane. As we now approach the final lap, might be a good time as any to push the entire lane up. Question is, can they take advantage of that? I don't think they can. We might lose more points here than we want to. Yep, we're definitely going to lose a lot here. Ooh, is there a chance here? Is there a chance? El Sadad's still ahead, but he's having issues, and... Ooh, Vosu fighting for that 4th place spot. Can he still snag something from Ramsey? We'll just have to see. Nope, too far away. Vosu will have to sell for 4th. Unfortunately, Perez is stuck at 14th again. That's going to drop our standings at least. But we managed to keep up with the drivers at top. Somehow Silvera managed to keep the race in despite her parts issues. And Octane Racing manages to redeem themselves from the poor showing in the previous run. And oh my god, I think I overran my time. I got a little too into it. I forgot to check my time limit. Let's see. Let's just give a skim out here. Silvera stopped early and then went for mediums. I see. Endurance did numbers for her. She went for speed and then went for endurance. I think we really should have given Perez a bit more setup boost. That was just me failing to address the situation in practice. Let's see what the GMA parts scrutineering is going to say. No parts there, and Ramsey even gets the fast lap bonus point. Did get our bonus though, so that's enough, but Perez drops down to 12th, and Bossu, despite the poorer showing, still keeps his first point up. Now we're down to second. This Archie BMR with a hater there. That's not gonna help us, Perez. So let's see what we got here. Just have to skim some of the notes here, and then I'll call in for the night. A little too long of a night for me, but that's on me because I ran late. Driver morale dropped. Expected result third. You came sixth. Chairman's not happy with that. Marketability is definitely going to drop a bit. At least we made money. See those notes? Now we gotta do something better at Tonla onwards. Should probably get my own pit crew. Better set up pit crew, really. Who's better at pit management anyway? It says Woodbridge is better at pit crew management. Oh well, it's on the news then. Car condition 25 and 46, not exactly a good sign. Okay, what's the news? Let's drop the other team's marketability then. Best lap was 5 seconds slower. Although we did have a mistake-free weekend. It's a good sign at the very least, but we definitely need to work better with, we need to get better with our pit management. If I do manage to get a better mechanic, we'll definitely go with that, but for now, we'll just have to work with this. With that out of the way, I think it is a good time as any to call it in for the night. Thank you so much for dropping by. I know it was a bit late again, to apologize for that. Just reiterate that it's going to be the standard for a couple more days until at least I can finish the job. Finish the job I've been focusing on off stream. Elsewhere, well, let's just say it's a bit more than I thought it would be, so I'm trying to get that thing done quick. Any hoot. Tomorrow it's probably going to be another video game day, though I don't know if we're going to keep up with the tarmac and probably check out the Command and Conquer Red Alert campaign now. Putting that one off quite a while. I definitely need to switch over there quick. Any hoot, for the time, just keep an ear out on the socials for any changes that happen. For the time being, though, if you got any complaints or bad reactions about the stream tonight, I recommend you drop me a line on my Twitter or my Pixiv. I appreciate that. If you got a hankering for the older streams that have been or have already expired here on Twitch, you can check out the VOD archive linked on the About tab of my profile page. Search for Lurk at Work on YouTube. If you got a hankering for old, no. If you're currently watching VOD, I really appreciate you dropping by. I'm really sorry that it was short. Maybe next time a little longer, but anyway, I sure hope you check out the other VODs as well. Speaking of my, well, if you've got a friend who might be interested in the stuff I stream or just wants to complain about PNG streamers in general, I recommend you search my search my share my channel twitch.tv/lurk at work. I'd really appreciate the extra promotion. Will help me immensely. That is. It's all from me for now. Once again, tomorrow it might be another video game stream, might be another Sport Manager stream, or something else entirely. Time being, though, if you got a little more game fight left in you, I'm gonna send you over to Akitepe. He's doing some really weird fish-related simulation games. I hope she's still running, though. Looks like she's already closing up. Well, whatever. Send you over nonetheless. For those of you who are heading out, though, I hope you have a good rest of the night. As for me, Lurk at Work is RTV. Thank you for watching. I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Good night for those who are heading out, and for those who are still in the mood for game watch, stand by as I send you to Anya.